I'm Geoff Crossick, and I was from 2012 to 2016 the director of the Arts and Humanities Research Council's Cultural Value Project.
Patrycja Kaszynska, project researcher for the Cultural Value Project. What is cultural value? What cultural value is not? It is not a thing in the head, a mental concept. It is not a property to be found in the world. Some would say it's a cultural policy construct. And yet I think it's very useful to think of cultural value as a form of practice.
When the Cultural Value Project started, we had one very clear thing that we didn't want to do, and that was we didn't want to produce yet another advocacy document. We wanted this to be a critical research perspective on the debates about the value of art and culture, and that the most productive thing that we could do, and what we wanted to do in the report, was to reconfigure the way we have these conversations, to actually be able to talk about the value of art and culture in ways that are nuanced, that are willing to accept that culture can be damaging as well as positive, and willing to accept that there are some areas where claims are made which simply can't be supported by evidence, and others that are ignored. We wanted, therefore, to reconfigure these debates so that they are much more productive, and so that they would be much more relevant to the different partners who might be interested in it. We recommended a national research centre, whether it was to be an observatory as we used the term then, or whether it was to be a centre as such, because we believed that it was important to keep the momentum going that we had established in the work for the report. Not just the report itself, but all the discussions we had about it, and all the presentations we made and the people we talked to, that momentum about some new ways of thinking, some better ways of thinking about it, needed to be maintained. And the best way to do that will be to create some kind of a centre, funded very clearly. We made it clear we did not think this was now something for the AHRC alone. It needed other participants in the funding, so that it was really about practitioners and policy. And we believe that a centre could play the role of being exciting and innovative in the kinds of ways we suggested, and bringing together the different communities that were interested in these questions. Practitioners and arts institutions, researchers, and policymakers.
If it's possible to talk about a breakthrough in the cultural value scoping project, it was a realization that instead of focusing on evidencing the outcomes of cultural engagement, we have to understand the process whereby value is created. And so this led to the insistence about acknowledging the communities of inquiry and of practice that are involved in co-producing cultural value.